student to our online classes. So we are on this chapter metals and non-metals. Okay, this is part 2 of this chapter. It's a class 8 topic. Okay, and in this chapter we have discussed few important aspects of the that metals and non-metals. Now we will move forward for further more topics. Okay. So we were discussing the reactivity of metals and non-metals. We have discussed the reactivity of metals and non-metals with air, that is oxygen. Now we are doing the reactivity of metals and non-metals with water. Okay? So reactivity of metals with water differ. For example, sodium, potassium and calcium will react with cold water only. They will not react with your steam and your hot water. Okay? Magnesium reacts slowly with hot water to form slightly soluble magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium will form magnesium hydroxide. Okay. Aluminium, zinc and iron react with steam only. It will not react with your cold water. Lead, copper, silver and gold do not react with water at all. They will not react. That's why we use them for making utensils and jewelry. Calcium and magnesium float on water as bubbles of hydrogen, because when metal react with your with your water, it will form hydrogen and hydrogen will appear as bubbles. Okay. Now, non-metals do not react with water, but they react with your this air, with oxygen. Okay, they are very reactive with your air, which is why some of them are stored in water. For example, one of the highly reactive non-metal is phosphorus. Phosphorus is one of the most highly reactive non-metal. And if we keep it in air, it will react with air and it will result in fire. That's why we immerse this phosphorus in water. Okay? And it catches fire when exposed to air. That is why it is stored in water to prevent the contact of phosphorus and air. Okay? We cut down this contact by immersing phosphorus in water. Next is reaction of metal with solution of other metal or salt. Okay. For example, metal A plus salt solution of metal B, it will result in salt solution of metal A plus metal B. This is the example of displacement reaction. The more reactive metal will displace less reactive metal from the salt solution. Okay, result in salt solution of metal A, that is more reactive, and metal B. Okay, then more reactive metal replaces less reactive metal, and we will discuss about this displacement reaction in detail. Less reactive metal cannot replace more reactive metal. Okay, for example, iron and copper sulfate. Iron is more reactive than copper. That's why iron will replace copper from the copper sulfate and it will form iron sulfate, that is also known as ferrous sulfate. It will form ferrous sulfate solution and it will release the copper. Okay, this is example of displacement reaction. Now this is the reactivity series. You can see that potassium at the top, then sodium, then calcium. These three are the most reactive metals and non-metal elements, I can say that. Okay, then magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen. All these have intermediate reactivity. Then your copper, mercury, silver and gold, they are less reactive than other. Okay, most reactive, intermediate reactivity, then your least reactive elements. Now reactivity of different metal and non-metal with acid. We will talk about dilute version of acid. Firstly, dilute version of hydrochloric acid and then dilute version of sulfuric acid. Magnesium, which is highly reactive, right? It will react with both dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid at room temperature as well as when we heat up the reaction. What happens when we add magnesium in hydrochloric acid? It will give us magnesium chloride plus hydrogen bubbles. Okay? Same in case of home condition also. And in case of your sulfuric acid, it will give, when we add magnesium to sulfuric acid, it will give magnesium sulfate and it will give again hydrogen, okay, as bubbles. Same when we form the reaction. Now your aluminium, that is also reactive, it will react with hydrochloric acid to give aluminium chloride and to release hydrogen Same reaction in case of warm condition. Warm is nothing when we increase the temperature. Okay. And reaction with dilute sulfuric acid at room temperature will give one additional thing, that is hexahydrate, that is your water. Okay. When we add aluminium to sulfuric acid, it will give aluminium sulfate, then hexahydrate, that is water, plus your hydrogen bubbles. Then again, when we warm up this entire process, then again the same process will happen. These two are reactive element. Next is iron, okay, which have intermediate reactivity. It will not react at room temperature with either of the acid, nor your hydrochloric acid and this your dilute sulfuric acid. It will not react at room temperature, but if we increase the temperature, it will start reacting. Okay. In case of that hydrochloric acid, it will give us iron chloride, that is ferrous chloride plus hydrogen. Same in case of your dilute sulfuric acid, when we heat up that process, it will give ferrous sulfate in addition to your hydrogen. Okay. Then copper, which again is less reactive. It will not react with hydrochloric acid at all, whether it's warm or at room temperature, and it will not react with your sulfuric acid at room temperature, but it will react with sulfuric acid when your sulfuric acid is concentrated. First of all, it's not diluted. Dilute means more water, less acid. Concentrated means more acid, less water. It will react with your sulfuric acid to give copper sulfate crystal plus sulfur dioxide, which is pollutant plus water. Okay, it will react with concentrated hydrochloric acid in presence of heat, increased temperature. Charcoal, again charcoal will follow the same process. It will not react with hydrochloric acid at all, and it will react with sulfuric acid, that is concentrated sulfuric acid at higher temperature to give carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and water. Okay. Now your sulfur. Sulfur will not react at all in any condition. Okay. So different metal and non-metal will react with acid and basic differently. When metal react with acid, they produce a poke sound, that is sound of hydrogen gas. Iron react with hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid only on heating. Okay. Copper do not react with hydrochloric acid even when it is heated, but it react with concentrated sulfuric acid on heating. Okay. Now exception. We are hearing this word since the beginning of our slide from our that first part of the video also. So now let's discuss these exceptions in detail. Very first is metal have luster and non-metal are dull, but graphite and iodine are non-metal that show lustrous property. Sodium and potassium have low melting point. Despite being metals, they have low melting point. Metals have high melting point, but these two have low melting point. Mercury is liquid at room temperature. Your metals are solid at room temperature. Mercury is an exception. Carbon, a non-metal, has high melting point. Non-metals have low melting point, but carbon is an exception because it has high melting point. Bromine, which is non-metal, is a liquid at room temperature. Okay. Next, alkali metal, which have the highest density. Okay. Lithium density is 0.53, but iodine, which is a non-metal, have density of 4.5, much larger than the alkali metal. Okay. So this is an exception. Your non-metals have low density, but because they are air or your liquid at room temperature, which are less denser as compared to solid. But iodine is an exception, which at the high or even more higher density than your alkali metal. Graphite and carbon in gas form are good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, which is an exception. Bismuth and lead are not good conductor, which are metal. Though metal, but not good conductors. Diamond are non-metal, so show lustrous property and the hardest material known. Potassium and sodium, which are metal, we can cut them through with help of knife. They are metal, but they are soft. But diamond is a non-metal but hard. Next is all metal do not release hydrogen on acting with acid. And for example, this was the property of metal that they will release hydrogen with a pop sound. But few exceptions are there like gold, silver, and copper and platinum. Now can you link this thing? Why we use this materials, element metals in jewelry? Because they do not react with acid, with your everything. Okay, they are least reactive. Then, if we consider mineral and as a compound in nature, then mica is a compound, okay, which is very good conductor of heat but bad conductor of electricity. Till now, we are linking good conductor of heat means good conductor of electricity, but mica is an exception. Mica is good conductor of heat but bad conductor of electricity. So this is an exception. And metal is hit, it produces pop sound. Then mercury is an exception, which is liquid in temperature, room temperature. Metals are malleable except your mercury. Metals are insoluble in water, but sodium and potassium can dissolve in water completely with release of heat. Okay, now the last part of your last topic is displacement reaction, which we have discussed though, but still. So displacement reaction, in this more reactive element or metal displace less reactive metals from their aqueous solution, from liquid solution. So for example, A is more reactive and B is another metal which is in solution form. A is more reactive, so it displaces B, okay, and it will form bond with C. This is displacement reaction. Okay. Uses of metal and non-metal. Firstly, uses of metal, because it has malleability, they are malleable, they are ductile. We can form different shape with using these. They have high melting point. That's why we use them in machinery. We make utensils with them. They are good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, so they are using. They can be used in multiple that heating devices also. Plus making cooking utensils, water boilers, and we can use them in making gadget, satellite, etc. Everything depends on metals. Even the economy of any country will depend on the amount of metal they have. Now non-metals are also useful. Just imagine life without oxygen, and oxygen is a non-metal. So they are equally useful. Okay. So they are used as fertilizers such as nitrogen and phosphorus, which I don't think I need to give more description. We know that nitrogen is essential for fertilizer. To purify the water, for example, chlorine. We use chlorine to purify water. Application of wounds, because they are basic in nature. In antiseptic, such as we use iodine solution for antiseptic nature. Used in crackers, for example, sulfur, because sulfur show high reactivity with air. That's why we use them in crackers. Okay. So all the topics are covered. I want you to go through them each and every topic thoroughly, because this is very important chapter. This chapter will make the base for your higher education. So go through every topic carefully. Now let's take your NCERT question. Very first is, which of the following can be beaten into sheet? Answer is zinc, because it's metal. Which of the following statement is correct? So correct statement is metals are ductile, with exception, few exception. If you notice exception, metals are ductile. Now Phillips, very first is phosphorus is very dash non-metal, very reactive non-metal. Metals are dash conductor of heat and dash. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Iron is dash reactive than copper, more reactive. That's why it can displace copper from copper sulfate. Metals react with acid to produce pop sound because of hydrogen gas. Answer is hydrogen gas. Okay. Next is true false. Very first is non-metals react with acid. No, with few exceptions they do not react with acid. Sodium is very reactive. Very true. Copper displaces zinc from zinc sulfate. No, copper can't, because copper is less reactive. Coal can drawn into wires. No, it's non-metal. Now difference between metal and non-metal with few properties based on few properties. First one is appearance, lustrous, metal and non-metals are dull. Second is hardness, metals are hard and your non-metals are soft. Then malleability, metals are malleable, non-metals are non-malleable. Okay. Then your ductility, again same thing, metals are ductile, non-metals are non-ductile. Okay. Then your conduction of heat and electricity with few exceptions. If we that keep your exception aside, that your metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, non-metals are bad conductor of heat and electricity. Okay. Next is give reason for the following thing. First one is aluminium foils are used to wrap the food item. Reason behind this is, first of all, aluminium is malleable. It can be drawn into sheet. Okay. Secondly, it will not react with your food. Both of these things make it a good wrapper. Okay. Not that wrapper. For wrapping your food. Okay. Next is emulsion rod for heating liquid are made up of metal substance, because emulsion rod require heating effect, and because metals are good conductor of heat and electricity both, so we should make them with metal only. Okay. Next is copper cannot displace zinc from salt solution, because copper is less reactive than zinc. It cannot displace, it cannot carry out displacement reaction, because the basic of the displacement reaction is more reactive metal will replace less reactive. Zinc is more reactive. It cannot be displaced by copper. Sodium and potassium stored in kerosene, because they are highly reactive in air. They are reactive with water also. That's why we cannot store them in water. So the result is, conclusion is, we should store them in kerosene. Next is, can you store the lemon pickle in aluminium utensil? No, you can't, because we have discussed the reaction of metals with acid. Okay, metals react with acid and they will result in formation of hydrogen gas, and that hydrogen gas will poison your food. So, and lemon is acidic in nature. So you should never keep your pickles, especially lemon pickle, in aluminium foil. Okay. Next is matchup. First one is gold, which is used for jewelry. Iron, which is used for machinery. Aluminium for wrapping food. Carbon as a fuel. Then copper for electric wire, good conductor of heat and electricity. Mercury for thermometer. Okay. Next is what happened when dilute sulfuric acid is poured on copper plate. It will not react. Copper will not react with your dilute sulfuric acid, but it will react with concentrated sulfuric acid in presence of heat, high temperature. It will form hydrogen gas plus result in formation of copper sulfate. Pure copper sulfate crystal will form in case of concentrated sulfuric acid, but dilute sulfuric acid will not react with copper. Iron nails are placed in copper sulfate solution. Iron is more reactive than copper. Iron will replace this copper from copper sulfate. Okay. Next is Dry-Dumper reaction also in this case. So F is iron, CuSO4 is copper sulfate. Iron will replace this copper and it will form iron sulfate, which is also known as ferrous sulfate, because ferrous is scientific name of your iron only. This is ferrous sulfate plus your copper. Okay. Next is Saloni took a piece of burning charcoal and collected the gas evolved in a test tube. Okay. So how will she find the nature of the gas, whether it is acidic or basic? How will she find it out? Okay. Plus you have to write down the equation, okay, of the reaction. So firstly, what she had to do, in a test tube containing gas, add few drop of water. Then now cover the test tube, drop few drop of water, cover the test tube and shake well. After shaking, she will bring a blue litmus paper. If it will change from blue to red, it is of acidic in nature. If it will change red to blue, then basic nature, right? Next is charcoal react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, which we have discussed. In carbon dioxide is a pollutant. When Rita went to a jewelry shop with her mother Next day, when they got the jewelry back, they found out their was a slight loss in weight. Can you suggest the reason behind that? The reason behind that is when you polish anything, you have to get rid of the first layer, okay, which is oxide, which make the gold look appear dull after a few years. That's why the new gold have more luster than your old gold. Okay, when you polish the gold, what will happen? The uppermost, the oxide layer will be removed, but it will result in less weight. That's why now the polished gold is having less weight. Okay, what we do when we what do we mean by polishing? First of all, we dip the gold in liquid called aqua regia, which is nothing but mixture of hydrochloric acid, nitric acid. Since beginning we are saying gold will not react. Yes, gold will not react with your hydrogen sulfuric acid alone or hydrochloric acid alone. But when we add this nitric acid in your concentrated hydrochloric acid, it will result in dissolving of uppermost layer of your gold, uppermost layer only. Okay, result in shining and lustrous surface. Okay, that's all for now, student. Go through each and every topic. Okay, this again I am repeating this thing because this chapter will make form for your higher classes. Okay, you have to get through each and everything thoroughly. Okay, find out the reasons why. Don't just learn everything like you are learning tables. You have to know the reasons behind why we are saying these things, why these metals are so numerous, why this thing is happening, why this thing is happening. You should know the reasons. Okay, thank you for now.